Recording.
This conference
Well,
will now
welcome to
be
the final
recorded.
presentation for our transportation plan update. Uh, I'm Roy Vestal, Public Works Director. An overview of what the overall transportation plan includes. We're implementing a comprehensive system of the roadway network, includes the roadway network, regional transit services, pedestrian facilities, bicycle facilities, the recreation trails, and maintenance is the new addition to this iteration of the transportation plan. This plan is related to several other and includes information from other master plans. The comprehensive plan, Parks and Trails Master Plan, Upper Front Range Transportation Plan, Weld County Transportation Plan, and then the US 85 and 52 PAL and access control plans, and our utility master plans. Comprehensive plan is the most integral or interrelated because the transportation plan is actually a part of the comprehensive plan. And then the information we take from the comprehensive plan to include and make determinations of what needs to be done is the planning, zone and zone land use, population projections, and overall needed roadway layout. The Parks and Trails Master Plan, also a part of the comprehensive plan. We take information from that plan to determine connections needed, bikeways, pedestrian access, and the trail system. And the roadway network is made up of a hierarchy of streets. And this is from the last transportation plan. It will be modified for how the city's looking to grow and has grown since it was implemented. The transportation system is the most important part of the transportation plan for determining what right-of-way needs we have and which direction, pun intended, travel is going to be going. Tonight's presentation is primarily focused on the Union Pacific Railroad and CDOT and our interactions and their interactions with our transportation plan and roadway network. Union Pacific Railroad, we have 11 crossings through the city, and it kind of bisects the city. There are right-of-way issues that they own right-of-way adjacent to their tracks and making use of that property as well. City leases a lot of the right-of-way, primarily from County Road 12 all the way up to 14th Street on the east side of the railroad tracks. We have a lease for the railroad right-of-way. That's where the rec center is situated and a lot of parks along there and a public workshop. So railroad crossings, we have the 11 all the way from County Road 8 up to County Road 18. And then we're also looking ahead for potential annexations in the future, which would include 3 more crossings, County Road 18 and a half to 20. There are many projects that need to improve those cross sections. Things that we're looking at as far as adding gates and lights, abandoning a right-of-way, for instance, County Road 10 and a half. And then also the other one that's already been abandoned by Union Pacific is County Road 16 and a half. There won't be traffic through there. Currently, 10 and a half is gated off. And our intent with the transportation plan is not to extend 10 and a half through to South Denver. There's not adequate right-of-way there, and we're not going to go after county folks to get right-of-way to put a street section in. The gates and lights for the future that we're going to be looking at will be County Road 10, County Road 12, and then gates and lights at County Road 18 are the ones that are missing. Also, we'll be looking at widening some of the sections so we can get full lane width and trail sections, our sidewalk sections to cross the railroad tracks. And with the transportation plan, we'll be looking out and trying to budget and kind of where in the time frame things will need to happen. Currently, just FYI, we're working on County Road 12 with the crossing and making a trail connection from South Denver all the way up to Raleigh. One of the options we have is to pursue quiet zones. Now, in Union Pacific's opinion, sounding of the locomotive horn at intersections, highway grade, rail grades crossings, it enhances safety. In a quiet zone is an increased risk to motorists, pedestrians, and trespassers. So in other words, they're not in favor of getting quiet or having quiet zones. They consider it unsafe. And the train horn rule, 49 CFR Part 222, requires train horns to sound for 15 to 20 seconds at grade road crossings. There is a method to make sections quiet zones. The minimum length in their criteria is a half a mile along the tracks. So it would be a quarter mile in each direction of the intersection. It involves having active warning devices, so the arms, the flashing beacons, and all that. And then advanced warning signs on the roadway, bells, and then it has to be within manual of uniform traffic control devices compliance. When all of those criteria are met, then it's possible to petition for quiet zones. The process. This is their flow chart. This is directly from their manual. The process involves submitting to the Union Pacific what you propose to do, whether they're going to let you do it, whether proceed, and just different steps to go along, and meetings in the field and stuff. Each railroad crossing for construction will cost $1.5 to $2 million. That's each. And one of the things that they're unclear of, if you then have an accident at one of these quiet zones, they're likely to take it away. Give you an idea how long this takes. We're not working on a quiet zone at this point with County Road 12, but it's the same process of what we're going through currently at County Road 12. And everybody's wondering why we haven't connected that trail yet along Cahill. And the reason is we originally started the process back in 2022 with an initial submittal. We finally got their attention in 2023 to have the meeting in the field for logistics and how they want to see and points of interest for them. And then between 2024 and the current time, 2025, and basically up till just last month, we were in the go-to loop cycle of review, return comments, review, return comments, although it didn't happen that fast because a lot of the return happened 3 to 4 months after the submittal. So they're not the friendliest people to work with. We did finally, on County Road 12, get a design approval initial from Union Pacific, and then we had a meeting with them to see what's next. Well, it's another 9-month process to take that set of drawings to their signal folks to design the crossing arms and lights and triggers and switches and all that. Along that same time frame, it also has to go to the real estate folks because we're widening the roadway a little bit. So we have to get a license agreement with them to occupy with the sidewalk beyond the existing right-of-way. So we're told that should take 9 months with the real estate part going concurrently. So at the earliest we might be able to put out for bid is looking like next spring. But we're a little bit more hopeful now after 4 years of processing. So it takes some time. Like I said, we didn't go in with the intent of making County Road 12 quiet yet, but our design includes all the elements that are required to go quiet so that when we're ready and have enough in a row, it doesn't make sense to have one road quiet and then the next one they're sounding the horn again. So we'd rather make it through the whole city once we process it. Our other friendly adversary is CDOT. the Colorado Department of Transportation. They rule and have control over Highway 85, Highway 52, and North Denver Avenue is actually a part of Highway 85 business. They have control over access, intersections, pedestrian crossing, and drainage in the right-of-way. They review all designs that touch their right-of-way. They review and approve any improvements that have to do with those roadways. The other transportation plans that are kind of under the purview of CDOT is the Upper Front Range Transportation Plan, currently in a draft mode for 2050 to extend to 2050, which we're a small part of. Looks like my box slid over. Yellow was where we were highlighted. Oh, that's not us. Not sure what happened, but we're basically in the far southwest corner of the eastern leg of the whole group. And then there's access control plans and planning and environmental linkages studies. We have one with Highway 52. We have one for Highway 85. Those documents and studies provide restrictions to access for the highway purposes. Their principal purpose is moving traffic through and getting them going to where they're going. The plans do include closures of existing access, changing of access configurations, intersection improvements, widening cross sections, future improvements, and right-of-way requirements. As an example, Highway 52 ultimately is going to be a 5-lane through town, 2 lanes each direction, and one which I'll affectionately call a suicide lane to make left-hand turns out of sequence. There is a possibility eventually that we'll get a median down the middle of 52. When this happens, I think they're going to restrict more and more access to the side streets. And then Highway 58, the planning and environmental linkages, also restricted accesses, removed a lot of right-in, right-outs. For the future, definitely restricted and removed left turn out or cross traffic turns, basically safety hazards. Fun fact, Fort Lupton has 2 of the most dangerous intersections along 85, that being 14th Street and County Road 8. There's finally been enough accidents that CDOT's attention was thrown over last year over to County Road 8, and they closed that access off completely. So they're only right in, right out at this time. Future improvements included with the Highway 85 include overpasses at County Road 8 and overpass at 14th Street. I can't remember if we had an overpass at County Road 18 as well. We just recently got the traffic signal at 18. That was about 2-3 years ago. So current projects that we're coordinating with CDOT on. We have the traffic signal at Raleigh. That's part of our lane reconfiguration when we did the seal coat on South Raleigh, or North Raleigh, I'm sorry. And we're waiting to stripe that last portion so that we can stripe it with 4 lanes. So we'll have a dedicated right turn and through, middle lane through, and then the far left is left turn only. So we're going to separate that left and through from the way it is. And then 1 going south, 1 lane going north. Highway 52 mill and overlay project is in the works currently. We're coordinating with them as an extension of the current project they're working on, where they're overlaying from roughly, I think it's I-25 to Highway 85. They're doing a mill and overlay. Following that project, they'll continue on with the mill and overlay through town from Highway 85 all the way up to Safeway. The project we're coordinating, their funds won't cover concrete. So the city is going to pick up to improve remove and improve the sidewalks where we have the right-of-way availability. And that's all currently under coordination and under design with CDOT. The estimated out to bid is late 27 with construction happening in 2028. Highway 52 and College Avenue traffic signal. We've spent about 2 years working with CDOT to get a traffic signal there. The latest was 6 months ago. The response back was, have you considered a roundabout? Anybody interested, go to the Engage site. There's still a page specifically dedicated to our effort there, and you can see the advantages and disadvantages of roundabouts. They have recently accepted our proposal to do it as a traffic signal with dedicated accel and decel lanes on both sides. That project's currently under design by the city with a consultant. We're kind of anticipating to be under construction probably mid to late 2027. And then Highway 52 and Fulton Avenue traffic signal. The proposal was originally in the Highway 52 access control plan as a recommendation. And at that time, when it was done about 5-6 years ago, when traffic warranted, they would be pursuing it. They've taken a look at that again at our urging, and they have agreed that traffic is warranting, so that could be an improvement coming soon. Not real soon. Yeah. And then the city's also working with CDOT on the Denver Avenue streetscape project. The streetscape is the proposal is similar to what we did on 4th and 3rd with bump outs and safer crosswalks. They have been quite cooperative, and we didn't get a lot of resistance from that, other than telling us that they will not be responsible for paving or for painting bike lanes different colors to go across the intersection. That would fall on us, but it's all the city project in cooperation and teamwork with FLURA, the Fort Lupton Urban Renewal Authority. And that's all currently under design. We just contracted out for the final design of the last 3-4 intersections. And then we'll be programming some of those in the near future for construction. All of this adds up, all the different projects and wishes and desires into our budget. So we have to look in the transportation plan at all our financials. We look at funding, which includes street sales tax, highway users tax, street assessments, grants, and bonds, and a budget to look at the historical look and growth projection and cash flow analysis. Our funding comes from 3 main sources. One's kind of small. Our street sales tax is the major. It's a citywide approved sales tax of 0.5% on things that are bought in town. It's a dedicated fund for street improvements. It's been renewed the last 5 times, I believe. 2 times since I've been here. And I believe the next time it's up for renewal is 30. I think they're in the even years. I think it might be 2030. The highway users tax is basically from the state gasoline tax, and it's based on lane miles of paved roads we have and maintain in town. It's an annual report to the state, and we get funds from that. And then historically, we have to take a look at the historic. What have we done in the past? It's kind of interesting to look at this graph to see the peaks and the valleys, and the green for the overall running is our count balance. You see, we did have a significant savings, almost $5 million back in 2022. And the cost of that is, you'll see the blue line is what we spent. And in 2020, we didn't spend anything because everybody was in a panic over COVID. So all the projects were kind of shut down for that year and then started to pick back up. But everything for the projection, we're currently projecting at a 3% growth rate on population, assuming sales and purchases kind of grow with how many people are buying in town, that would grow at about 3% also in the future. Critical part is watching the green line to see how low it dips as we're projecting the growth, because we do have the Tabor reserve that we have to maintain, which I believe is 5% of the gross budget. And that pretty much concludes. I would like to encourage everybody to use the QR code to go to our community engagement website where you can find the transportation plan. There are input maps where you can leave pins, point out problems. There's polls. We want your opinion. It will be used to help prioritize the projects as we make our full list and prepare the final document. Ranking the projects when we have the full list. There are recorded meetings on the site for every of the other 4. And then a schedule will be updated with when we go for approval. I do encourage everybody to share, recruit, and get people in there to make those input and give us advice on what we need to do and what we're doing wrong. We end that, and what I would like to do is go show everybody the site so you're not scared when you get there. On the phone, it'll initially ask you to log in or sign up. We definitely encourage you to sign up because you get additional features where you can get notified when something new comes up on a page that you're following, so you can follow pages. But what you'll see when you go to this site is down below all the active projects we currently have. Includes our transportation plan. There's the Highway 52 College Avenue roundabout discussion, City Hall construction, and I see Doug has added the Coast Park. But if you click going into the transportation plan, this is what you'll see. Quick description. Please push the plus to follow so you get notified when things come up. Each tab is each presentation that we've done. This is tonight's. The input I'm looking for is a quick poll. Do you support a railroad quiet zone through the city of Fort Lupton? Got several options. No, I like the train horn. No, we cannot afford it. Maybe when it fits in the budget. And yes, I can't stand the noise. And then also a feedback input where you can write down anything you want. Give us a feedback, stuff you like, where you want projects to happen. What you want to see as a priority. Each of the other presentations has a tab. It's just a simple click. You get a recording to the previous one so you can catch up if you missed one. And then there's also activities in there, like this is a map to put a pin or where you want to see a stop sign, where you need stop sign traffic control. Before you start plopping stop signs all over the place, I would suggest you watch the video to see why it would be bad to have stop signs at every intersection. Then there's a poll for each of the potential slow down options on a street. Basically asking, would you want a speed bump in your neighborhood? Would you want a chicane? If you want to know what a chicane is, watch the video. And street narrowing and other methods that we could do. The pedestrian access presentation. Also, there's activities for, do you support the statements to be basically the purposes of our transportation plan? Do you agree with those objectives? Poll again, finding out if you want recreation trails to be included in our transportation plan. And then there's a place to put pins where you want to go, where you start, where you've got a problem. Please use it, put markers in. Also, we had a maintenance session where we covered everything maintenance from repaving to seal coats and crack sealing and the whole project, and give you an idea. There's a fun activity in here. You can pick of the different things how much money you want to throw at each of these different types of projects. Whether it's street reconstruction, all you do is you slide the slider for how much you'd spend, how much we could spend, and then for concrete repair, how much we could spend, and it's going to tell you when you run out of money. The budget is $2.5 million a year. But give you a chance to see what we go through. And then the last one is the introduction, and there's again polls at the end. Well, I guess I didn't put the polls in there, but that'll give you an overall update for what we're doing with the plan. So please go to the site, register, check in regularly, and let it notify you. And with that, I have nothing else. Any questions? Easy peasy. Stop the recording.